Hey guys, it's COREROSS and welcome to 6 News. Today we have the patch notes for Operation High Stakes. And I do feel like this is a high stakes season because they need to get the cheater issue under control. They need to get balancing back up and running. And hopefully the game will be in a better state with this new season because there was a lot of exploits with the last one. So to start off, we've got Denari. He's got Evo, FMG9. He's got a brand new quad barrel shotgun which fires slugs. And he's got kind of a default pistol, the P226, and then he's got observation blocker, deployable shield, and he's a 3-speed, which I'm very surprised about. And he has the ability to throw out freaking laser beams everywhere, and I think he's going to be insanely fun to play around with, but I don't know if he'll be powerful or not yet. It is really hard to tell with him. So first up, we have ShieldGuard. Now, this is basically your just default bit about ShieldGuard every single season, because of course they always have to update the anti-cheat as best they can, and they need to make an actual improvement. So I'm hoping that this season we might see things work out better, but we will see. It's not about reading any of this, it's all about just seeing how it actually ends up running, so fingers crossed. Now, anti-toxicity. So there's going to be voice chat moderation done by AI. I am expecting this to totally go wrong, but we will see. So communication is key in Siege, and voice chat is a vital tool for teamwork and strategy. So our goal is to make voice communication safe and accessible for everyone. However, we also seen how they did their text chat moderation, and it didn't go well to begin with, basically just moderating almost everything. So it says players will receive warnings for toxic voice communication and repeat offenders will be automatically muted. Disruptive voice behavior will also impact player reputation. So I'm not expecting this to go well, but hopefully it will develop to the point of where it's actually half decent. We'll see. We've then got the privacy setting coming to console. So first of all, you can no longer just kind of make your own little custom name up in the privacy setting. Instead, it'll just be kind of randomized. And at the end of the match, it actually shows your real name. And I believe the reason it shows your real username is because if you're being the most terrible person in the world, at least they'll have a real name to connect that to. And then this here is actually quite interesting. It's feedback moderation. So players with good reputation are actually going to be able to provide feedback on voice and tech chats that they believe were mistakenly detected by the automated systems. So this actually sounds really good. Taking someone who's got a good reputation and then taking the feedback from that to improve their automated system sounds really good. So I'm actually quite happy with this. And I hope that then means that things get better with these automated systems a lot faster than they have. Next up, we've got Geofront. So of course, this is getting an update. So they're going to have a new neutral sector. Right now it's Dockerby, you go and save. And now you're going to have like this sealed room you can go into where it actually closes around you. Looks cool. And you'll be able to try and get the intel that's in there. And then the other people can try and get in via other access points after that. They're also removing these operators here. And then these operators are being added in. Now, of course, I think most people don't really like Geofront, or at least the old school players. But the thing is, Geofront is basically the game mode that all the new players are playing. It's the one they go into first. So I see Geofront here as kind of the first step that new players take to actually join the game. Now, I've got no idea if they stay there, if they play it long term, or what. I'm very curious actually about that. But I don't think they'll ever give us player numbers of like how many are playing Geofront and how many are playing Core Siege and things like that. I imagine right now most players are playing Core Siege, but new players are getting introduced to the new Geofront. Then we've got modernized maps. So Nighthaven's Lab's getting an upgrade, and it does look quite nice. We've got Lair getting upgraded and Consulate. I expect a lot of players like, why would you upgrade Lair, right? What the heck? This mainly gets banned. A lot of people don't like it. But I think the reason is it's a modern map. So it's probably easier to just come in and fix this up. Whereas some of the older maps, they actually need to completely redo some of the bits in order to make it in their new systems. And then, of course, then give the graphical upgrades. So this one was probably just easier to do, first of all, and get it out of the way. Moving on from that, we have our new Esports tab. So in the game, you can go do a little esports thing. I'll let you know when there's like live streams and all that stuff. And also you can check the teams and see their standings and all that stuff. So, good improvement if you enjoy your esports. And then, oh my God, we finally got some freaking balancing. And a chunk of this was very surprising. So first of all, Blackbeard is returning to Nerfbeard. He is getting nerfed into the ground, and it is just crazy to watch. So they are starting off by saying that they want to reduce his area denial capabilities, especially with frag grenades. They don't actually mention a particular change here with the frags, or even just simply take them off him, but they're obviously looking at different things. So first of all, they're making it so that he cannot aim down sights when he's going in a window. So this is when you do the animation when you're swinging in, he cannot aim anymore. He just has his shield up and he's not able to aim and be lethal during that animation. So you can still shoot when repelling, but when you're entering, you're just a lot less lethal. Now, they're also changing it so that his shield will take longer to come back up after he cancels aim down sights. So his head will be just vulnerable for more time, and essentially almost half a second more. He's also lost one of his breaching abilities with the shield, going from 4 to 3. They also don't mention it in these patch notes here, but they did mention it on the live stream. They're also reducing the magazine size of his assault rifle as well. And when he reloads, his shield now collapses down to a far smaller size, making him way more vulnerable. So he's just got nerfs in every aspect. It's mental to watch. It's very much like watching the original Blackbeard, I think. So then we've also got a change to ballistic shields, which will also impact Blackbeard here. And that is that when someone throws things like smoke grenades or frag grenades, stuff like that, the shield will move so that it'll actually reveal them for a little bit. Now, it doesn't seem to be, revealing them by a massive amount, and it's very quick, but it means you can potentially get off a couple of shots. And I'll test it in test server, see if we can actually hit the head or stuff like that. So big change, but it'll happen so infrequently as you don't really spend too much time throwing the smoke grenades that much. So I don't expect this to be a huge impact, but it might get the odd shield killed. However, we've got this defensive magnification scopes. So all of the ACOGs on fully automatic weapons are gone. So Goyu loses on the Vector, Doc loses on MP5, same as Rook, Frost losing it on her SMG, Echo losing it on his MP5, Chanka losing it on his SMG, and Castle losing it on his one as well. So huge changes for these operators, and just an overall huge thing for the entire game, because right now on console, these two operators are massive pick rates, and this will significantly dent that. Significantly. So that'll be very interesting to see, especially, of course, Doc. So I'm super interested in this. I only use 1Xs for the most part on defense, so it's going to have no impact to my gameplay, but I'll be curious to see what the enemy team is like to play against without these fully automatic ACOGs. And then there's also a range of changes. So Echo is getting one of the nicer buffs here. He is going to a 2-speed from a 1-speed operator, so he's getting faster. I think that's great. Of course, losing the ACOG, so I don't know if it's going to really help him that much. Fenrir is getting a nerf by losing the Bailiff, and I assume here they just try to make it so that Fenrir is a little bit less a jack of all trades kind of thing, and pull him back a bit. So it's not a massive nerf, but it will potentially piss off some Fenrir mains. Then we've got Wamai, who is gaining the Super Shorty. I don't know how the Super Shorty just turned into this weapon that just got passed around all the operators, but it's going from different operators to different operators all the time. However, it's not the only one now. The Reaper Mark II. This is so weird in so many ways. So this is being given to a lot of operators. So Sledge, Oryx, Pulse, Ying, Rook, with Rook being the weirdest choice and very surprising. But we'll go over that shortly. So first of all, Sledge, I'm just kind of surprised they didn't give him back the Mac 11. Like, to me, that would have been a better choice than the Reaper. Now, the Reaper is getting buffed this season. It's a better gun, but still, I'm surprised they didn't give him the Mac 11 back. Then Oryx and Pulse and Ying are all getting the Reaper because they want the primary shotguns to have a bit more chance, because basically no one uses Ying's shotgun, no one uses Oryx's main shotgun, and Pulse's main shotgun is used, but of course sometimes you feel like you're a bit weak with it. And then you'll have the Reaper Mark II to give you that little bit of full auto power when you need it. So I think for Pulse mains, this is going to be a great change. But then Rook, so weird. Like, obviously he's losing the ACOG, so they're giving him the Reaper, but they're also giving him a nitro cell, which is unusual. It's such a weird choice, or at least that was the case in my preview build. There's no mention of Rook getting a nitro here, so maybe it actually isn't happening, but It was such a weird thing to see Rook going around with a nitro and a fully automatic little SMG. But it's an interesting change, and I hope that it's not the case that the Super Shorty and the Reaper are the only guns that end up getting moved around. I honestly would be quite interested to see some primaries shift about, see what happens. And talking of primaries changing, we do actually have some. So Sentry and Striker, we've got the defensive operator getting the TCSG-12 slug firing shotgun, so that means he can run that with an ACOG on defense, and the attacker is getting the SR-25. Now I think it is the defender that needs a good buff here, so I'm hoping this shotgun maybe helps him out. They've gone in and changed the control scheme for the replay. It is actually better, but it takes a little bit of time to get used to it. And when I was messing around with it, trying to get like screenshots of the new operator and stuff like that, this part here, even when you hide the HUD, this still shows up and it's annoying. I want it all to disappear when I hide the HUD so I can take really good screenshots. Then we've got Siege Cup. So enemy squad inspection. This allows you to actually check the enemy team before you play, so you can try and figure out strategies. Really nice, and I like this. This is, it's taking the ranked kind of game mode and making it even more competitive, and I think this is a perfect kind of addition to that, because you can really think strategies before you play. There's also going to be brand new rewards, so that's really good as well. And this is all those things you can buy with competitive coins. I've not seen them yet, so look forward to checking them out. Then we got the long-term progression, so more free rewards. I'm loving how much stuff they're actually adding in as rewards for doing stuff. So players, when they reach level 70, will now get a 70 charm. So I'll actually put this on screen because I did capture it in my early access. And then level 90, you get yourself a new player background card. Level 100, you get another background card. And I do wonder if this is just the start of adding more and more stuff as time goes on, which I'd be very happy about. They're also adding in 2 new badges, Event Winner, which is simply winning events, and All My Fellas, which will progress up when winning games in PvP multiplayer playlists with a full squad. And they don't mention it here, but there's also a free bundle for Solus you can go get. So this is the same as last season. You could play some dual front games, you would unlock some challenges, and then unlock a bundle for Sledge. You can now do the same for Solus and get this free bundle as well. Moving on from that, we have our training and onboarding. So they're changing or adding more playable operators. There's more modernized maps being added to the playlist, or well, essentially just, because they're being upgraded, they're being chucked in there. Then this is interesting. So they mentioned this at the start of the year, where the celebration packs from season 1 will now be sellable on the marketplace, and not just the ones without duplicates, but the ones with duplicates as well. And these will be available to sell on the marketplace. And I've saved them all up. I'm going to try and do it. And you can sell these at the start of the new season. So I don't know how it's going to work. I assume you don't sell them like one at a time. I'm assuming you can go right here, sell like 10, sell 20, whatever. And it'll take all the ones you have that are unopened in your inventory and you can sell them. But not only that, they're planning to add more packs that'll be available to sell. I assume every single pack will eventually become available to sell. So looking forward to that. I've got a bunch of old packs sitting in my inventory that I might just start selling in the future. We will see. Now this is interesting. So first of all, they're advertising their next event Memento, which is stupid to do in a patch notes when this is like a month away or more. It does reveal something. So this P90 here is going to be a special dreadful shredder skin for the Doctor's Curse event. Now, the thing is, they mention that a second memento for the next event will be coming later in the season after it. That doesn't make sense, because Doctor's Curse should be the Halloween event, which is like 2 months away. That would put it at the end of the season. So my thinking is actually Doctor's Curse is coming soon. And then maybe there's a second event for Halloween to follow. And it could, probably both reuse. Like we got Doctor's Curse reuse with a new map, and the second event will probably be a reuse, but they could bring in one of the older Halloween events. So I'm thinking we might be getting 2 Halloween events this season. But at least that's my guess on this information here. And like I say, this should not be in the patch notes. Pointless. It's just a filler, try to plump out the patch notes, and they should not be doing that. Then we've got seasonal camo skins. Now, this is interesting. I kind of thought maybe they were ditching like uniforms and headgears and stuff like that for seasonal skins, but they're not. So here is the new one. There's, from what I can see, there is no weapon skin whatsoever. So I assume that means it's probably in the battle pass instead. So yeah, that is the seasonal skin for the operators. Then we got these operators getting cheaper this season, which is great for new players, as every season operators get cheaper and cheaper as they get older. Then we've got additional updates. Now, I'm not entirely sure about everything here because they talk about a new mid-match tactical timeouts. I assume this is for esports, so they can have like a, like literally the players ask for a timeout and then the actual people running the whole show can just stop the game essentially for a little bit. I don't think this will be a normal playlist, but they do say playlist, so it's a bit weird. They also say that they added Joe Front to the Essentials tab, they've added Enlisted to the Training tab, and they've bug fixed onboarding. Really, do we need that? Do we need that bullet point at all? And then we've got audio. They say they're still working on the audio. I assume people are still not happy with the audio, so they say they're going to keep improving it. But that still sounds like it's future stuff. And then they say they're adding a new batch of operators to the conversation system. So operators that chat to each other, they've added more chats, so there'll be more interactions. And they're adding this now to ranked, standard, and quick match as well.
I was right to keep an eye on you.
Make it both eyes, Deimos. We have unfinished business.
And then a really interesting and actually great change is the UI here. So the threat indicator is going to be made fully 3D. This is superb. So when you're inverted on like a window when you're repelling, if you get shot from say the left, it'll show the shots is actually coming from the right. It's the wrong direction because you're upside down. And they're making it fully 3D so that now it'll actually show the right direction. I can't believe it took 10 years to get this, but happy for that. And that is our patch notes. There is a few things here I think they have not quite omitted. There'll probably be a separate blog post with the details on exactly all the proper balance and stuff, because I think there is a few more things there. And as I'm editing up this video, the designer notes have dropped in a few additional things. So Legion is losing the super shorty. Blackbeard's assault rifle is going down to only having 20 rounds in the magazine. It really is like watching history repeat itself. It's mental. And then for the Reaper Mark II, they mentioned that they're reducing the recoil. The interesting thing is in the designer notes, they mention only PC recoil, and the console recoil is equally as bad. So I hope they did actually change console recoil too. And then quick conclusion here, this is a fascinating season. The new operator, I've got no clue if they're good, they're bad. They are just interesting and potentially lots of fun. And I can't wait to see what they'll be like on the live servers, let alone the test server. There is tons of stuff to test and break down, and then the Mythbusters will be coming up with a bunch of stuff. But overall, season is just curious, and I'm looking forward to most of what I'm seeing here. And there should be an overall shakeup. We should see significant changes in operator picks and stuff like that. And I don't know if it'll be for the good or the bad. But for me, when it comes to balance changes, I think you can play around with stuff. You can always pull back and change things and revert things if need be. So looking forward to this season, and more than I actually was for Siege X's launch. I'm actually hyped for this season. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.